northwest Puerto Rico, long known by surfers and other adventurers as a hidden gem of the Caribbean. With world-class waves and a local cuisine that offers everything from traditional dishes gone uptown to funky roadside eateries. This place delivers on all counts. A perfect storm, which is about to dump 2 feet of snow on the northeast coast, is meeting up with another low in the Atlantic to create a superstorm, sending giant swells straight down to Puerto Rico. Since Surf and Gourmet is always on the hunt for creative food and amazing waves, we team up with Chef Alina Eisenhower because the only thing that excites her more than great food is a ripping surf break. Vámonos! The thing about surfing is that you're always chasing the waves, but in Puerto Rico, getting there is half the fun. The plan for today is to head out to Tres Palmas, near the town of Rincon, to meet up with local pro surfer, Josie Graves. He's going to show us some of his favorite surf spots, then prepare a typical Puerto Rican Sunday dinner, including his famous breadfruit flan. With the epic swell that Puerto Rico is experiencing this week, it'll be a great chance to see Josie and his friends rip on these monster waves.
Slogan for Puerto Rico, La Isla del Encanto, because it's a really beautiful day and you can really see it means the enchanted island.
It's beautiful, and the waves, I've been surprised by how many great beaches there are to surf here. I think a lot of people don't realize that. It just seems like one after the other. There's so many to choose from, and on any given day, if one's not, breaking nicely, you go somewhere else and you're going to find a wave there.
I'm a professional surfer and I get to travel quite a bit, and it is hard to go to a place more amazing than here because it's a very good spot to be a surfer. Tres Palmas conditions are really nice and the wind's hitting it straight offshore. It's nice and clean. You might get some 15-foot face, 20-foot face waves out there.
What's the bottom like?
It's a protected reef. Can't spearfish or anything here. There's fire coral, elkhorn coral. We might surf a beach later on a little bit further up the point called Dogman's in Maria's. Dogman's is a similar bottom, but it's shallower.
Potentially a little more dangerous too.
Yeah, definitely more dangerous. Tres Palmas has got its danger in its own ways just because you can really get pushed down deep and you gotta hold your breath. You might get multiple waves that do that in a row to you. You can be in insane shape and it doesn't matter, you get hit by 3 of those waves and you're winded and you gotta rest for a little while on the inside.
Josie takes a shortcut along a horse pasture to the water. Like many of the best surfing spots in Puerto Rico, Tres Palmas is a reef break. The waves are huge, and there is little or no shore to walk on. It's like one pounding mass of water coming at you. The rides have steep drops with fast inside sections. Josie is stoked. With the wind coming up and Tres Palmas getting blown out, Josie takes Alina to a secret spot that works with a north-northwest swell. He asks her not to mention its name, so she could tell you where it is, but then she'd have to kill you. Protected from the strong northeast wind, this spot has one of the best rights in the Caribbean. Secret Spot pumps out a very fast wave. Just watching this perfection really gets you jazzed. This break holds a wave up to 12 feet. It's hard to imagine what it looks like at double overhead. After a great day of surfing, Josie and Alina head to his house to gather the breadfruit for his famous flan.
Oh, these are beautiful breadfruits.
Yeah, really nice.
They're like optimum, like we can make flan, we can make tostones, we can make like a mashed potato type thing out of it. Pretty much anything you can do with a potato, you can do with a breadfruit.
Is there anything besides flan that you do with it that's sweet?
I've made like kind of like a pancake thing out of it. I made like a crepe out of it with some like Nutella or...
Yum.
Yeah, it's real yum.
Josie's Uncle Dan, a local chef, is already in the kitchen cooking.
You seasoned it, and then what did you do with it?
Seasoned it with a little chimichurri and pounded it out. And then sauteed it with the onions and garlic.
But it's got cilantro, garlic, like it's a paste. Sauteed, that's how I like to eat it.
Dinner was served on Josie's porch with an incredible view of the ocean.
I've lived at this house for 8 years. I can look out and see if it's high tide or low tide or the angle of the swell and how big it is.
So you were saying that this is kind of the style of like on Sunday's family meal?
You know, maybe the whole family go to grandma's house and you'll have, you know, like kind of a buffet style meal set up. You know, everybody kind of just serves themselves. It's a social event.
Right. So what's in this one?
Kidney beans made with pumpkin,
Oh, pumpkin.
calabaza, chorizo, tomato paste, some sofrito, which is like a mixture of herbs, garlic, cilantro, recao.
I gotta have some of this fresh avocado.
My main avocado source is over at Dan. Dan has like 4 or 5 trees that produce mad amounts of avocado.
Because it's at different times of the year, too.
Gotta say, I'm a little jealous about that.
And now, Josie's famous breadfruit flan.
Breadfruit flan, flan de pana, or flan de panapén, it could be called here. It's similar to other flans, but it does have a unique taste because of the breadfruit.
I've heard of a lot of different kinds of flan, and I've never heard of breadfruit flan. Do you cook the breadfruit first before you add it, or do you add it raw?
This flan, I used a really ripe one, and I didn't cook it. I just blended all my ingredients together. You got a breadfruit like this, you need to cook it a little bit. If you just let them sit and get soft, like they'll ripen up in like 3 days. It's almost like a fruit.
More sweeter, and that's more like a vegetable.
That's more like a vegetable.
Pretty versatile, the breadfruit.
It's amazingly versatile. Like
tostones, you can make something like mashed potatoes, or you can make dessert out of it.
That's perfect looking flan. Yeah, all you need is a breadfruit tree and you can eat.
The breadfruit trees from Asia, they were brought over for slavery. The breadfruit tree produces so many breadfruits, they could live off it. Breadfruit's got like kind of a weird rap sometimes, but now it's done the full circle. You know, like tostones de pana, you have those in the restaurant and it's like, oh my God, you know, like people in the city pay a lot of money for it.
This is delicious. Well, thank you guys. Thank you for an awesome meal. Glad that I got to come here and experience it.
If you want to mingle with the locals, then Crash Boat Beach is where it's at. The beach is packed with the feeling that it's one big party. Everybody enjoying the sand and sun. Music blasting from every corner. All colliding to create an atmosphere that is perfectly Puerto Rican. Empanadas, tostones, coconut water. You gotta check out the pincho stands. Pincho translated means spike or stick. So literally, it's meat on a stick. The locals all have their favorites, the difference being in the marinade and spices they use. Wherever you eat at Crash Boat, you're guaranteed a great, fresh, local meal. Alina meets Janelle on the boardwalk. a cute surfer who's studying to be an English teacher. She also works at a local restaurant and teaches bodyboarding and surfing to kids. They head for Janelle's favorite empanada stand.
So this is my favorite spot to get some fresh fish. They have octopus salad, they have conch salad, fresh, all fresh from the local fishermen here.
And the tostones they make with the traditional plantains? Or?
They make it with plantain, sometimes they make it with breadfruit, the pana we call it.
The breadfruit, or pana, is fried once, mashed, and fried again. This creates a delicious, crispy tostone.
They look really different. Can you tell the difference when you see them?
The pana, the consistency is a lot lighter and it's airy almost, porous.
So they order both the plantain and breadfruit tostones, along with an octopus empanada. Janelle suggests the boatyard for a quiet place to eat.
Okay, the sauce we call mayo ketchup. It's basically a mixture of mayo and ketchup with a little bit of adobo in it and garlic. Also, tostones, that's the breadfruit and this is the plantain. And this is an alcapurria, which is a dough made out of plantain filled with meat. Sometimes they make it filled with land crab, which is a popular dish here, but today we have the one with meat.
Cool, I can't wait to taste it all, so.
Let's start here on the octopus one. So we want to see how the octopus is cooked inside of this.
Octopus is such a good judge of if somebody can cook well, because if you don't cook it carefully, it tastes like eating rubber bands. Oh, I can smell lots of garlic.
Sofrito.
Yeah.
Sofrito it's called. It's a mixture of spices where it has cilantro, culantro. It's all mixed in together.
Okay,
Let's try it.
It's delicious. You know it's seafood, but you might not even know it was octopus.
This place always gets it right.
So this I've never had before, so I'm
Alright, so
excited.
this is the alcapurria, and let's break it in half so you can see how it's on the inside. It also has a lot of meat in there, so you want to have some. And we use this sauce for everything. You can't have a Puerto Rican dish without mayo ketchup. It's like cookies and milk. And buen provecho.
Buen provecho. Bon appetit. So it looks like the waves here are good for bodyboarding.
So are you ready to give it a try?
Let's do it. Vamos.
Vamos.
Janelle has been surfing crash boat her whole life. She says that on days like this, it's hard to paddle out. So like the locals, they line up on the pier where they really have to time their jump so they don't get slammed back into the jetty. Then take a leap of faith. Crash boat is one of the best spots for bodyboarding. When the swell is right, there are some pretty waves peeling off the jetty. The bottom here is sandy, so you don't have to worry about wiping out and getting a face full of coral. The main thing to watch out for is colliding with the locals who are used to crowds. When you take off, you'll be jostling for position with other aggressive riders. Keep in mind, this is a local spot. You have to give respect to get respect. Alina caught a couple of smaller waves and was trying to get set when she got tangled in the crowd.
Oh, man.
Was the cameraman's response, and he was right. Alina respectfully decides to sit out and watch some great moves from the local experts. So she walks past the piers to gas chambers, which breaks only a few times a year. When it does break, the waves are fast and unpredictable. This wave curls more rectangular than round and has a gnarly backwash. This is a spot for locals, so if you surf here, remember, if the backwash don't get you, the bodyboarders will. One10 Thai is one of the area's busiest and most popular restaurants. There's amazing things going on in the kitchen. It's owned by Chef Andy Klein and his wife, Nastasia Cruz.
What led you to Thai food?
Some of the main ingredients already were here, and some other main ingredients were real easy to come up with. So it quickly turns into a local food, even though it's very different flavors than what has ever been around here, really. You're eating spicy basil stir fry with fresh tuna from Crash Boat Beach.
So is all of your seafood local?
This was swimming yesterday evening in the water. And I'm eating our pad thai noodles using local tamarind.
So you make it slightly different than a lot of people may have had it.
Sometimes there's East Coast, West Coast versions, and I think ours might fall somewhere in between. What sets us apart is the amount of vegetables.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Which we grow a lot of them. Some of them on property, and we work real close with some local farms to get as much colors and vitamins on each plate as we can.
Everything they do is about supporting and cultivating the local community. Nastasia came up with the idea of a farmer's market at 110 Thai, where locally sourced food and produce is brought fresh from the farm. There's even a farmer who grows and makes his own chocolate, which is used to create 110 Thai's very popular steamed chocolate stout cake. It's made with this local chocolate and a local stout beer. Speaking of beer, Alina tries a Coqui Extreme, which is Puerto Rico's version of a black and tan.
There seems to be a pretty vibrant craft beer scene around here, which I was surprised by in coming here and didn't necessarily expect to find, and I think a lot of people wouldn't expect to find in Puerto Rico.
It's turned into quite a revolution, I would say, and we are proud to have been a big part of bringing the revolution definitely to this side of the island.
I've noticed since we've been over here, it seems like you have a fairly vibrant tourist scene. There's a lot of people here that speak English. It seems like a lot of the restaurants and things are very tourism friendly, but I think at the same time a lot of people are really unaware of this side of the island. Is it a different type of tourist?
It's definitely surf-based. The people that come to, especially this part of Puerto Rico, come for a specific reason, which is to enjoy its natural beauty, which means they automatically are going to protect it. They're going to help us keep everything clean. And they bring certain ideas and influences from other parts of the states and the world. The specific tourism has grown a lot in 10 years, but not in a bad way at all. I think it's only grown in a healthy way.
It's probably a lot of word of mouth tourism, so you're going to continue to grow that same community, because I'm going to go back and tell my friends that I know would like this type of an area and would be surprised to find it and may not have thought of Puerto Rico as a place to find it.
You see the same faces every year, sometimes multiple times a year, which they turn into almost local customers for us.
There's a nice sense of community between the chefs. You guys are all kind of friendly competition. You're all friends and you help each other out.
We're all friends, and we work together on a lot of different aspects of the businesses and help each other out. It is a special situation, I'd say, for this area.
For a lot of areas. There's a lot of places where chefs don't always play nice with each other. You have to be a little bit crazy to be in this business sometimes.
That's the secret ingredient.
Via Montagna, first-class accommodations on 3 miles of pristine Shack's Beach, where award-winning chef Jeremy Cruz creates culinary magic on traditional dishes. Chef Cruz has earned many accomplishments, including being named Caribbean Chef of the Year and being chosen to represent Puerto Rico at the James Beard's Rising Stars of the 21st Century Awards. Chef Cruz is preparing a traditional seafood mofongo, which is made with yuca and plantains. He uses local Caribbean lobster and freshwater prawns. To prepare the lobster, he starts with the sauce, adding local vegetables and sofrito. The lobster base is what Chef Jeremy calls mojo isleño, which is basically a spicy tomato sauce. This intense type of sauce fuses the flavor of the meat within the sauce. He adds pique, a spicy chili sauce, the unofficial national hot sauce of Puerto Rico. Different versions of pique can be found in every home and restaurant on the island.
Well, today we prepared something that represents our local cuisine, but we try to present it in a different way, not the typical way that you will find if you want to have traditional food in different routes of the island. We had some freshwater prawns brought in, We had some fresh local lobsters from right here in front. Speaking of it,
Beautiful.
as you see, usually mofongos, they can be very dense. You could see the consistency inside. The ironic part of what people don't know about Puerto Rican cookery is that our Indian ways, the traditional ways, everything used to be cooked in wood fire type of ovens. And every starch, we have the yucca, the carioca, cassava, yam, which is yame. The starch would be taken away. It would be utilized as in savory, but also as in desserts, sweet desserts. And everything would be properly wrapped in banana leaves or green plantain leaves to give that nice smokiness into it.
Yeah, nothing's overpowering. The seafood, everything just works together, and you can taste all of the different components that are in here.
At least here in Puerto Rico, for many that don't know, we do have lots of local fresh products. We do have a lot of seafood.
Yeah,
You know,
beautiful
from
fresh seafood.
conch to octopus, 7 varieties of snappers, tunas. We have freshwater bass, prawns. I mean, it all depends where in Puerto Rico you're at. It's what the type of seafood you're going to get. And when you get year-round varieties of this type of proteins, it makes it easier to cook.
This version that you've created is very light and fitting with the seafood and doesn't feel really heavy and like people might expect from something that's prepared the way that it is. It's delicious. I know that you have you've won quite some awards yourself and been a part of the culinary team for Puerto Rico. I believe a gold medal winning culinary team, and that you won the highest award yourself for Chef of the Year.
I had fun competing. I'm sure someday, I always said I want to compete at the Bocuse d'Or.
Yes, that's a lofty goal, but I think it's about the
close
challenge.
around.
I think, yeah, and I think it's about the challenge for a lot of chefs.
At the end of the day, you know, what you do, what you produce, you're going to be judged by
Yes.
perfection.
Yep.
And we try to achieve that perfection every day.
I think that is the mark of a great chef. That is exactly what you, every day you're trying to produce. Every dish, you're looking for what can I do better? What can you're trying to
It's
produce.
a maturity journey, I would say.
Absolutely, and just about producing beautiful food. Well, thank you so much. It was awesome talking to you, and your food was delicious, and I'm really glad to be here.
Thank you. Buen provecho. Saludos.
The drive to Wilderness, past the ruins, is incredibly scenic, but the road can be challenging. Okay, make that gut-wrenching, but the waves are worth it.
The hairy thing here at Wilderness, if you want to ride these amazing waves, is that there's really only a small area to get in because it's all coral. So you have about a 6-foot opening to get in and get out there to these beautiful waves. If you miss that opportunity, you're going to end up way down the beach, and the only way back up here to get back in is to do the walk of shame. So you kind of have to know what you're doing. This isn't just a playground for anybody.
With all that paddling against the current, you can really work up an appetite. Luckily, Masa is always standing by his pincho stand. Like all pincho chefs, Masa has secret ingredients, and he's willing to share one of them. Wilderness is one of the most beautiful beaches on the island, with a pretty shaded river mouth. It would be easy to spend the whole day here, but Josie's waiting for us at Wishing Well. Wishing Well is another protected reef break that works with a north-northwest swell. It's a local spot and attracts a lot of bodyboarders. Josie's been a great guide. He shared an amazing meal, and he's shown us some beautiful breaks. Plus, some spots only the locals know about. The mellow waves and the gorgeous sunset make for a sweet end to a beautiful adventure. Puerto Rico truly is La Isla del Encanto, the enchanted island.